8:30 Motivational Monday with a splash of money because let's face it, we could all just use a little bit more of both of those things at the moment. I thought I'd start with Power Thought Cards by Louise Hay, one of my thought leaders that I follow. Absolutely love the work of Louise Hay. You knock on the cards to get all the prior mojo, maybe blow on them to get all the other energy out. And let's pick a card for anybody that's tuning in. There's no accidents. This was meant for you. I let go of all expectations. Who needs to hear this right now, right? We get ourselves in trouble. Louise reminds us, I flow freely and lovingly with life. I love myself. I know that only good awaits me at every turn. Did you know that the universe is working for you? God is working for you, not against you, even in the seemingly setbacks, challenges, and issues. They're all gifts. I know it's super hard to reframe that at times, but it's possible. One of the reframes I want to talk about today, and I am committed to making this Facebook Live 15 minutes or less because I feel like I'm going over. So I'm committed. You committed? Pinky swear? Okay. One of the reframes is that overpassionation and shiny object syndrome is a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. How many of you feel overwhelmed because you want to do so many things and there's just not enough time in the day and you end up getting so overwhelmed that you just stop and don't do anything? That used to be me. I am an overpassionator, and you know what? I'm freaking proud of it because what that means, overpassionators, shiny object syndrome people, is that we're creative. That's right. You can even throw an AF after that, creative AF. And that is a fabulous thing because creativity is a source of so many amazing, abundant things. So instead of shaming ourselves or feeling bad because we want to do so many things, we have all these things we want to do, let's just learn how to channel that amazing creative energy, right? So it's good news. But there is a reality to it. We can't do it all. We absolutely cannot do it all. And that's why we get stuck because we have all these things and then we don't know how to manage it. So years ago, this was something that I really struggled with, was overpassionation, wanting to do so many things and never really finishing anything or never really going deep into one area, right? The jack of all trades, master of none. And I had many mentors of mine tell me, East, you need to niche down. I was like, I don't want to niche because what if this thing pops? Or what about that? Or I want to do this. It's really difficult for me. Even my husband was like, maybe you should niche. I have a mastermind that I meet with every 2 weeks. Even they were saying, maybe you should niche. And I was like, no, until I read this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. This book, if you are an overpassionator, I highly recommend it, okay? It's a quick read. There's even some pictures in there. But the way that the authors articulated niching down or focusing and finishing, the way they articulated, it resonated with me. A light bulb went off and I was like, I can actually reach more people by narrowing down and looking at all the things for which I feel passion and excitement and picking maybe the top 3 or 4 and going all in on those, right? So if you're like me and you're overpassionate, you're kind of like, well, what about the other things that I can't do right now? Those poor things. Put them on a golden shelf. So here's my process. I do this regularly, okay? For all of the people that are overpassionators and shiny object syndrome, capture those ideas, capture that creativity that's just pouring out of you, capture it. I have been doing this for years and I still do it on the regular because guess what? That overpassionation is not going to go away and it's a beautiful thing. Love it, appreciate it, and just know that there's a way to manage it. So on a regular basis, I write down all the things. I have a big sketchbook. I have carried this book around. This book contains all the ideas for the last 12 years of my businesses. My aromatherapy company came out of this book because I was writing down all the cool ideas for aromatherapy. They're all in here, right? It's just Find a place to capture your creativity, your passionation, your ideas, the shiny objects that are around you. Write them down, okay? So here's one where I wrote them all down. I went through this book. I have a lot. Here's another one where when I wrote down all the things I wanted to do. The idea is you write down all the things for which you're feeling passionate, and then you look at them and you start to circle the ones that give you the most juice, right? So if I have 15 things written down, all right, let's start to put some priority there. Circle the ones that you're super, super, super passionate about, okay? That's what you can do. So I call it passions and priorities. There's another one. If you look at this, I also have on here my children, my family, right? Because we don't have unlimited time in a day. So I have to put my family, my marriage, those things that are really important to me, they go on the list too. Not just your business ideas, not just your practice ideas. Everything in your life for which you have passion goes on the list. I have all kinds of ways that I write it down. Then I look at the list and I highlight or I circle the things that at this time I'm the most passionate about. Okay? So this was one where I wrote down speaking, private practice, real estate, coaching, author, being an author, teaching, teaching light therapies, exercise. That's important. My self-care is super important. I called it domestic management, right? Because I want to be there. My kids will never be this little again. Creating CEUs, programs, intuitives, live events. Okay, then I highlighted the things that I felt the most passion for, and I limit myself to 3 to 5. That's it, because you just can't do them all. So you write down all the things. You write down all your passions, and then you circle the top 3 to 5, and those go on your focus and finish list, and everything else goes to the golden shelf, right? I'm still have them here. I can always go back. Look at my private practice wasn't highlighted. I am passionate about treating patients. I love private practice. However, my family, speaking, live events, creating programs, and coaching gives me more joy at this time. So my private practice goes on my golden shelf. I can always pull it off my golden shelf at any time. I have other product and business ideas that I'm like, oh, well, what about that? And it's like, well, I can't do that and finish. I have 5 books that I'm committed to finishing by the end of the year. They're children's books, so stay tuned for that. So those I'm going to focus and finish. When those are done, I will do this list again, and perhaps my private practice will be the thing that's on the priority list, and I reopen it. The idea here is, number 1, don't feel bad if you are an overpassionator. Let's hang out together, okay? Because it's fun. We're creative. We're excited about life. We want to do all the things. Just put a leash on that, right? And the way to do it is write down all your passions, put them in a list of priorities, and from 1 to 10, 1 being the most important thing. I'm going to tell you right now, the most important thing in my life is my family. 100%. I will drop everything else for my children, my husband, and my marriage. Absolutely. Everything else goes, okay? That's number 1. Then number 2, number 3, number 4, I have found, I used to have 5 on my top list, and I have found that to really be effective, I really can have 3. And whenever I work on the top 3 priorities in my life, any time that's left over, I can work on the other 2. Now, here's the thing. If you're an overpassionator and a shiny object syndrome person, you're probably afraid to commit to something. So always the reframe in your mind is, at this time, I'm going to focus on these things. The rest of the things go on the golden shelf, and I can always pick them up. And you just saw 7 instances where I did my priorities and passions list. I do this regularly because sometimes I pick something for which I have passion, and I think it's the one thing I want to focus and finish, and I start to work on it and focus and finish it, and I realize it isn't really something I want to focus and finish because I keep thinking about something else or another passion that I put on my golden shelf. If you can't get something off, then swap them and say, okay, you know what? Actually, this guy, this thing wants my attention, and so I'm going to focus and finish on this. You go on the golden shelf, right? Now, focus and finish. 2 years ago, one of my focus and finish objects was to create an advanced nutrition course. I've been teaching nutrition for like almost 20 years. And then I was wanting to teach an advanced nutrition course using supplements, herbs, and lifestyle for over 50 conditions, because people were coming to me for that advice. And I thought, gosh, what if I could create a program? But it was overwhelming. And I also had a million other things that I was passionate about at the time. So I said, you know what? It was about this time. It was about October 2019. And I sat down, I did this list, and I said, you know what? I'm going to focus and finish my advanced nutrition course because I've been thinking about it. I've been talking about it for too long now. And so I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to put all the other things on the golden shelf. And I'm committed to focusing and finishing my advanced nutrition course before January 1st of 2020. And that's exactly what I did. I sat down and I put blocks of time to spend on the advanced nutrition course. You need about 3 or 4 hour blocks, chunks of time, so you're not distracted and you get in your flow. And I sat down and I focused and finished, so much so it was December 31st. This is a true story, 2019. And I had one last little video to record for the program. And I told my husband, take the kids out, because I made a commitment to myself to finish this program before the beginning of the year. And so I have a 20-minute video. I went in the garage, I put a fake background, a virtual screen behind me, and with a heat lamp on my feet because it was freezing in my garage, I recorded my last video of the advanced nutrition course that I put up for sale in January of 2020. That advanced nutrition course is $255. I often give little discounts to $35. Regardless, think about that, okay? Because I did some math, right? Because this is Motivational Monday with a splash of money, okay? So I focused and finished the program. I put it for sale for about $235. That's about the average of what it charges. So if I sell 100 of those programs, which is very easy to do, advanced nutrition, it's a CEU course, and we all need CEUs. That's $20,000, guys, that I made by talking about something I love to talk about, but just recording myself and having the discipline to focus and finish a passion of mine. Versus overpassionating on all the things. I put all the things that I'm passionate about, some of them on the golden shelf, focused and finished this one thing, which then freed up my passions list to bring something off the golden shelf and start working on that in 2020, which I did, which was a manuscript for a book. But the idea is you can do the same exact thing. You have 3 months to focus and finish something and launch it in 2023 to make money, okay? So here's some examples. Let's say you're like, well, I don't know if my program would be $235. Maybe it's $197. Let's say you create a product, a program, something from your knowledge. It's like, manage your health naturally using my techniques, and you sell it for $197. If you sold 10 of those programs in a month, you will make an extra $23,000 next year from the work you do now. That is passive income. I like to call it residual income because there is some work that needs to be done. But look at that. How many of you want an extra $23,000 doing nothing? You will make this money in your sleep next year. You put the work in the next 3 months, you focus and finish on something, and then you literally wake up. I wake up all the time to emails that somebody bought my program that I focused and finished. It is amazing, okay? Let's say you're like, that's too much money. A $97 program, if you could sell 10 of those a month, that's very easy. If you actually put some work into marketing, you could sell a lot more than that. That's an extra $11,640 next year that you're gonna make sleeping, on vacation, doing the Machu Picchu Trail in Peru, which I've done. I highly recommend, okay? Maybe your program is juicy and has a lot of information. And in 3 months, you could create such a program. And you charge $497 for the program. That's an extra $60,000 you're gonna make next year. What if you actually launch the program, you spend the next 2 weeks, focus and finish something, and you start selling that program now? You could have a Black Friday or a Thanksgiving Day sale or a holiday sale or a Boxing Day sale on your program, and you can start making that money now. You don't have to wait until 2020, 2023, right? Or let's say a $47 program. Let's say you're like, well, let me just dip my toes in the water and see. Okay, fine. You know, I just did a TikTok masterclass 2 weeks ago with a good friend of mine. What happened was he was going to teach me how to go on TikTok, and he started telling me, buy this, do this. I said, gosh, this is too good. Let's hit pause. Let's set a date. Let's record you telling me how to get on TikTok so we can share it with more people, and we'll charge $47. Honestly, I spent more at Starbucks the other day, right? 47 bucks, right? It's nothing. Everyone's like, 47 bucks, of course, because then you give them the recording to your program. Okay, so let's say you create a small little knowledge-based product, a digital product, and it's $47, and you could sell 20 of those a month, right? Because it's not that expensive. That's an extra $11,280 you're going to make next year. Let's create something for you. Let's create something for you. And I want to impress a sense of urgency on you. Because many of you are like, well, I'll start working on it next year. I'll start working on it next month. Stop that stuff. You can get so much done when you put a sense of urgency on yourself. Commit to yourself that you'll finish something before a certain date. Think about when you're going on vacation, okay? Let's say you and I were going to go on vacation on Saturday. We were going to go somewhere fun. We're going to go to Nashville, listen to some music, and you only had 4 days to get all your work done and get packed and do all this stuff and finish some projects before we left for vacation. Wouldn't you get a lot done? Why don't we live every day like it's vacation? We're going to go on vacation. Think about how much you can get done. I know you can get it done when you're going on vacation, so use that to monetize on your gifts. Thank you to my children who drew on my chart. That is adorable. Yeah, they decided to draw on that for you. Okay, so now you're getting blessings from my kids. Is that awesome or what? Guys, focus and finish. It is absolutely beautiful that you are an overpassionator. It is absolutely beautiful that you have shiny object syndrome because it shows you have heart, you have soul, you have passion, and you want to get out there and do stuff with it. So just get disciplined. That's all you got to do. You write out all your passions so that they all feel like they're getting equal attention. And some need to go on the golden shelf for a moment. And then you focus and finish on your top 3 to 5. Put something across the finish line this year. Put something out there. You know what's super fun? Creating. You know what's super fun? Growing. You know what's super fun is challenging yourself to something that scares you and doing it anyway and breaking through and proving to yourself that, number one, when you commit to something, you follow through and you finish it. And then finishing something is amazing. Like I will tell you, when I finished that program, the Advanced Nutrition Program on December 31st, I still am in a mastermind with 2 other individuals, and we meet every 2 weeks, keep ourselves accountable. I send a text message to them of me, a picture of me in my garage, and I said, I finished the effing program today. I did this recently. I created a little program called Gifts into Gold. I was talking to my accountability partners, my mastermind, and I said, you know, I have all these ideas about helping people discover what are their gifts and how they can take those gifts, like your thoughts, your experience, and turn them into a digital product like the one I just described, like my Advanced Nutrition. And I was telling my accountability partner, my mastermind, I said, I really have this great idea. I think in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go home and I'm going to create just a quick little thing, and I'll call it Gifts into Gold. So I looked at my priorities list. I put Gifts into Gold in there. I took something else off my priorities list, and I said, honey, I'm sorry, you're going on the golden shelf for 2 weeks. Guess what? It didn't even take me 2 weeks. The next day I woke up, my schedule was clear, and I said, looks like today's a great day to record and complete my Gifts into Gold. And as soon as I was done, I sent a text message to my group, and I said, I finished my Gifts into Gold. And they're like, whoa, I thought you were going to give yourself 2 weeks. I said, I didn't need 2 weeks. I got it done. It's even up for sale. It's only $55. If any of you are like, I don't even know what my gifts are, 55 bucks will lead you there. And I have a money back guarantee on all my stuff. If you buy any of my products, my programs, and you're like, oh, that was horrible. I don't want that. You tell me that was horrible. I'll give you your money back. I mean that. Because I put my heart and soul, and if it doesn't land on you, I don't take it personal. It just wasn't for you. Here's my last thing I'm going to say, since I already let out the bag of taking things personal. Stop it. Stop taking things personal. If I invited you over to my house and I said, I want to make you eggplant parmesan, and you're like, I hate eggplant. This is a true story. I hate eggplant. But it, if you Parmesan it, I might eat it. Because like if you Parmesan your shoe, I'll probably eat it. Parmesan's so like delicious. But the point I'm trying to make is if, let's say I invited you over and you don't like eggplant and you say, no thanks, I'm busy or something because you don't want to hurt my feelings about the eggplant. I'm not going to take it personal. Maybe you just don't like eggplant, right? It's not, oh my God, they don't like me, they're rejecting me. And on that note, rejection is often God's protection. Rejection is often God's protection. So if you're feeling rejected somewhere or something's not moving for you, stop trying to force it and take a look like, interesting. I'm really curious why this isn't moving in the direction that I prefer. Let's look at this, sit with it, and meditate on it. There's a novel concept. All right, that's it, 20 minutes. I didn't even do it. I was committed to the 15 minutes. That's just because I am so passionate that it just pours out of me. What are you passionate about? Let's get it across the finish line. Let's get it out into the world to share with others. Sending you much love for this week ahead. It's Monday. Drop comments, send me emails. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you next Monday, Motivational Monday with a splash of money or more next week. Bye for now.